Hey guys, what's up and welcome. Thank you so much for clicking this video. I am Matthew Msingati, the greatest, the double-edged sword. I am the designer and a developer from South Africa. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Coded Design, where I teach React in the same way in which you are going to apply it in the work environment. What am I going to teach you in this course? This is a very interesting course. This course is packed with a lot of tips, tools, and techniques that will help you to cope in the work environment. I am hoping to help you to level up with your React skills, specifically NextJS skills, in such a way that you can certify yourself at least as a professional. Or if not, if that's too much, maybe at least you know that you are one step to becoming a professional. Learning from YouTube and Udemy, it's not easy to really think of yourself as a professional because you always think that there is a lot to learn. When you watch this tutorial, there is something that you didn't know. When you watch this tutorial, there is something you didn't know. In this course, I am going to help you to write an enterprise code. What is an enterprise code? Imagine if you were being hired by Microsoft, Netflix, or Google. What type of code would you write? What sort of thought patterns would you follow? How would you think about writing your code? In this course, I am going to equip you with all of that. At the same time, starting from scratch, we are going to start on an empty Next.js project and continue. So, what type of project are we going to build here? Okay, this is not necessarily going to be a project, as I'm telling you that I'm going to give you tips and tricks to write an enterprise code. But however, we need to have some sort of a goal or an outcome. Okay, we want to create a login sign out screen. That means we just need two screens, the one for logging in and the one for signing out. We're going to implement a little bit of functionality, but what I'm hoping you to grasp here, it's the concept, the good programming practices, solid principle, design pattern, and thought processes behind the architecture. Okay, so what I did, I just visited Dribble. As you can see, this is the designer of this awesome UI. Okay, so we are going to use this UI as some sort of as an inspiration. Okay, more often than not in the work environment, you are not going to create the user interface from your own head. You are going to be given a guideline. So I am hoping to help you to build something from um a design, okay, or from a Figma file. Okay, so if you are working on your own as a freelancer just like me, more often than not you will receive jobs from clients, and they will take random pictures from the internet and they will tell you that this is what we want. So you must be able to take an image just like this one and work on it using some basic Figma skills, things that I'm going to teach you in this channel. And I have got also a dedicated channel where I teach people Figma. So we are going to, from this screen, we are going to use it as an inspiration. As you can see, this one, it's a login. We are going to use the same template or same look and feel to create a sign up. So it's like login and registration skill, but it's going to be packed with good programming practices. Obviously, if I am promising you to become a professional, a pro in React and Next.js, it's very important that you understand a little bit about me. Who am I? Who is Matthew, the guy who claims to be the greatest? Okay, so the first thing that you need to know about me, it's my failures. Okay, some time ago, I thought of creating my SaaS application, which was an invoicing app, and it turned out to be a disaster. And why? It just got frozen. It's simple. The reason, it's very, very simple. Okay, I didn't have sufficient thought process to go around creating an application. These are the things that I'm going to teach you now. I was too technical. I used to go to YouTube and follow projects and also create my own project. Because of I created those projects, they are working. As you can see, this might be an example of an awesome working project. As you can see, it has got some light and dark theme. Okay, but when I got into the work environment, I realized that this is not enough, because I must think about scalability, maintainability. I must think about code, let's say cleanliness, which is a clean code. I must think of the solid principle, applying them the best way I know how. So if you might look at this, you might think that this is the best application, more especially if I can show you the responsiveness, but that will take too much time. You might think that this is the best application. Let me just quickly show you the dashboard. So this is the dashboard here. Okay, as you can see, it might look promising, but believe me, this got frozen because I didn't have the thought pattern, and also the code wasn't as clean enough. So here I was technical. I was a master of Tailwind. I was a master of well, some React concept and Next.js. So I thought I was ready, and all to realize that I was not ready. So because of this failure, I dedicated my time into understanding the thinking more than the actual coding. More often than not, these days, I spend my time thinking about coding, not actually coding. I always code later. Okay. In this video, you will see those things. So this is my website. I've got my students that I am teaching. If you might want to join, you can just check, give me your name and email for a discovery call. It's a 1 hour coaching course, and you will maybe from there decide, prepare everything that you want to ask me about React, UX, UI, and Next.js, and then I can answer that. We also got a course, this one on Udemy, so you can go to Udemy and search Medium Singati. I will appreciate if you can come here and check this course. When you click this course has got a lot of tutorials for free, or the tryouts, or the ones that are available for everybody. So if you come here, you can click here and you will see that there is a lot available for you to learn. I think I have reserved like maybe 40% for somebody to pay, but 70% in this course is for free. You can just go here and learn a lot of things. And we also got our course on Free Code Camp. Here is our course. Okay, this is our course on Free Code Camp. You can maybe just go here and check our course. It's on shared CN. Remember, I told you about the coded UI, which is where I teach people how to um design awesome application on Figma. Okay, I'm obsessed about starting things from scratch to finish. Okay, not necessarily I want to be the god, or I want to be Mr. Know-it-all, but I like control. Okay, I like to be able to. So these are the things that I'm going to teach you as well. Obviously, I am not the guy who knows everything, and I know exactly what I'm good at, and I know what I'm not good at. So I will recommend to you this channel. When I got into the work environment, my boss recommended one of the projects from this guy. Obviously, I forgot which one was it, but what he said to me, he said, watch the first 50 minutes. And what he told me I will gain here, I will gain the best folder structure and architecture when it comes to Next.js. And indeed, I got that thanks to my previous boss. This guy is very, very good. Next.js to him comes as a second nature. I am also, and I'm not ashamed and not afraid, I am also learning from this guy on Next.js. This guy is a pro. If you are able to support him, I will gladly recommend you do so. You buy his course if you can. This guy, if there is a god of Next.js, I would like to take that cap and put it on him. It's very awesome. So this is also the channel that I am using. Some of the things that I'm going to teach you here, if you want to know more, okay, please come and check this channel. I think, guys, that's about it. Basically, that's about me. I'm Matthew Msingati. I'm based in South Africa. So I just teach people how to code. Now let's get back to business. Remember, I said here I am going to teach you an enterprise code. Okay. It's slow to write, but it's worth it in the end. So it's very important for us to have a definition of what is an enterprise code, or at least me, what do I mean by an enterprise code. So what I did here, I went to ChatGPT and I asked ChatGPT what is an enterprise code. So let's just quickly read here. My apologies, let me just zoom. up. Okay, I'm too far from this screen, so that's why I have to zoom it up to this level. Okay, an enterprise code, often referred to as enterprise software or enterprise application software, is a type of software used by organizations including businesses, schools, government, and other institutions to support various operation and management processes. Here are some key features and purpose of an enterprise code. Okay, this is the part that I want us to some sort of look in detail. Okay, number one, scalability. Okay, designed to support large scale operations and large number of users simultaneously. Okay, so when we are building this, these are the things that we are going to look at. Obviously, maybe my approach will be somewhat different and you might not be used to it, okay, as compared to, let's say, other project based learning material. Okay, the reason will be we are going to focus mainly on this integration, capable of integrating with other system and software within the organization to ensure seamless data flow and the interoperability. Okay, my apologies for that. Really, I didn't know even this word exists in the English language. Okay, interoperability. Okay, meaning that it must be easier for us to swap things, I think, meaning that if you've got this and you want to swap it with another, you can swap it with another, more like improving the operation in a very quick and easy way. Okay, security, this one in our context we are not going to get much into it. Okay, even me, I don't know much about this field. Okay, and then customization, we are going to hit on this. Reliability, somewhat there. Performance, obviously. Compliance, not really. So as you can see, guys, the thing that I want you to take out from the takeaway from this definition, it's scalability. Okay, integration, we can say, and customization. Okay, so at least now we've got the same definition and foundation of what an enterprise code is. Okay, obviously it's not easy to just what can I say, to know things from theory. I understand that. So what I've decided to do, I went to GitHub and I have checked an enterprise code so that you can see what is it or what inspired me. Okay, even me, I didn't really know what an enterprise code is up until I got into this NextJS project. Okay, this is a code, an e-commerce project by NextJS, as you can see. So an enterprise code is short. Okay, that's the very first thing that I notice about the enterprise code. If your code, the first page of your code, it's more like 90, 100 lines, you must know there's something going on there in terms of clean code, in terms of scalability, and in terms of maintenance. Okay, so this is zoom in a little bit. So this is an e-commerce application from Next.js. Just check here, guys. Okay, this is 20 lines. Okay, this is very clean. Okay, in their initial render, they've got a 3-item grid, they've got carousel, and they've got the footer, and that is it. Okay, so if you might want to compare this, go to GitHub and search all other e-commerce application. You will see on their first page they are all somewhere around 190 something lines and whatever. So I'm trying to learn from the best. This is Next.js. This is Vercel, let me say, the guys who invented Next.js. So they must know what they are doing, and they are an enterprise. That means they are a big company. Okay, so this is what I've learned about this. So what I usually do now when I'm writing code, I use this number as a benchmark, meaning that I took this further or I take this seriously. I always aim to reach like 1 to 20 lines in all of my modules. Obviously, that's not easy to achieve, but it's helping me to stay clean and to minimize the codes that really don't help me or when I'm not efficient in my code. So now that we know exactly what we are trying to do and where we are going, let's get into how am I going to teach you this. What I've realized is that in the modern web development landscape, okay, There's a lot of framework, there's a lot of technologies, there's a lot of innovations around the technology, but I've just noticed that there is a lack of a school of thought or thought processes or thinking patterns. Okay, at least I didn't find them. Okay. Yeah, there are some React design patterns, but frameworks for building application. Framework not as in Next.js in terms of the technical aspect of it, but frameworks like let's say MVC, okay, something that can a mental model that can help you and assist you to memorize things and to do things better. So what I realized, what I've decided to do is to create my own. So I've got my own framework, which is a tool for thinking, not framework as something you can get on GitHub, but it's a tool for thinking, and it has been helping me to quickly do things some sort of easier and become better at what I do. So I call this a met pattern. I've got a video on met pattern. Okay, this is version 0.1. The first one was just an introduction. It was random. So I keep on improving this methodology. Okay, why met patterns? Okay, I realized that I'm always duplicating myself or repeating myself. Okay, if you have to create a project, let's say it's a Next.js project, you have to create a Next.js app, you have to type some certain code, you have to type some certain modules. I found some repetition in those things, and I was asking myself, am I going to start from scratch whenever I'm creating a new project? Is that fair for me? Let's say I've created almost like 6 projects this year, let's say. Do you mean that I'm going to start from scratch every time when I'm creating a new application? So to me, this was too much. I felt like I'm a slave, I'm doing one thing. So I was like, okay, cool. Let me create my own thinking patterns that are going to help me to have some sort of a frame of reference when I'm creating an application. So in these patterns of mine, what are we going to discuss about? I'm going to discuss about the flap theory, which is in the initial video about met patterns. It's not named flap theory. I think it's under met spectrum. Okay, so as I've told you that this is version 0.1, I keep on improving. So now I've decided to call this a flap theory. What is a flap theory? Okay, a flap theory states that in whatever application that you are going to create, whether it's Next.js or whatever modern JavaScript application, there are these things that are fundamental that I've discovered. You are going to use a certain framework. Okay, in our case, we are going to use React as a framework, but we are going to use Next.js as a framework for building. So the framework here will be um, React or Next.js. Then there are some libraries, there are some external packages that you will use. Guaranteed, this is something that you will always do. Okay, you can't avoid it. Whenever you're creating a project, you will always have some libraries. Okay, so these libraries, in our case, the one that is on top of my mind for now, we are going to use what's this library now? It flipped it quickly went Jotai. Okay, don't mind much about it. I will explain when we are going to use it. So in our case, we can put Jotai here. And then we've got the app domain. Okay, what is the app domain? When you're creating an application, there are things that you will always do. They have got nothing to do with the type of application that you want to build. Let's say we are given a task to create 3 applications. The one in accounting, the second one is a social media, and the one in music business. Let's say the first one is going to be Sage Accounting or Zero or QuickBooks, and the other one is going to be social media, let's say Facebook or whatever, WhatsApp. Okay, and the other one is going to be Spotify. As you can see, these are different industries, right? Yes, but in those different industries, there are things that falls into the app domain, whether it's Spotify, Netflix, or Google. These will always be there, and these are the things that made me to be like, it looks like every time when I'm creating application, I am repeating myself. So can't I always have this folder that has got the basics of an application, irrespective of the industry or what it is or the name of the application? What might be those things? Okay, let's just talk about conceptual things first. Every application has some sort of a flow, okay, which is navigation. Okay, in a way, you need to have a menu and you need to click and the menu will take you somewhere. Okay, that's the flow. Okay, that's some sort of a map from which the user is going to use your application or is going to consume your application. As you can see, this is app independent. It doesn't matter if it's Netflix or whatever, but it must be there. Okay, and what are the other things that needs to be there? In a way, you will be fetching data. Okay, at some point you have to fetch data from the API. So what I decided to do in my folder structure, I decided to add the app domain. These are a collection of code and reusable pieces of code that are always available in any app. So now when I'm creating an app, I must copy and paste this app domain folder. Why? Simply because on my first project, I added few lines of code which are always reusable in any project. On my second, I added. On my third, I added. On my fourth, I added. On my fifth, I added. So as you can see, as you are building application, you are some sort of creating some reusable components that will help you. When you are getting into your third project, at least now things are going to be easy. It's going to be easier for you to build application because you have created your own library of reusable components. And then let's jump to the problem domain. I realized that there are some code or pieces of code that are uniquely for the industry. Okay, there are code or patterns that you are going to use on Spotify, which you are not going to use in QuickBooks. For instance, Spotify might have some recommendation algorithm, and Facebook might have some recommendation algorithm and patterns or code or modules around views. Okay, but when you get into WhatsApp, really there are no views necessarily. If there are views, it's just status and whatever, but it's not the essence of the business, okay, of the application. When you get into an accounting application, there are no views at all. We are not keeping the statistics here. More specifically about users and who clicked on your own thing. So you will see that here on this folder problem domain, you will put the things that are uniquely for the application. How is this going to help you? Let's say now we are creating a new school management system. We are going to take this folder, which is app domain, and copy it as it is. Guaranteed. We need not to move up and down the code to copy a certain reusable code that is in the midst of a problem domain code. No, you're just going to copy this folder as it is, and there you go. You've got all the function or the reusable functions that you have created over time. So I call this the flap theory. Continuing, we are going to make use of the met container and the met view. To be honest, this is not something new. I didn't create this. It's something that is already there. If you can check on the internet, there is I think it's a container pattern. Okay, I think it's a container presentation pattern for React. Okay, so that is exactly that. Okay, but I've just written here or I've just presented it as met container pattern. I'm trying to register it in my mind that I have to always use it. So whatever that I'm talking about here, it's not something that I came up with, but it's just a presentation to make my life easier. We are going to talk about the met palette. As you know that I am a designer and I'm a developer, so there are some patterns that I see starting from design and going to development. I am starting to develop my own color palette, okay, to help me to be able to work with colors in the whole entire application seamlessly. So the matte palette is just the primary, the secondary, the tertiary, the text, the pop, and the muted. I just realized that there are three colors which in all color palettes they are there. So these are not the new words. Okay, there is a primary color, secondary, and there's a tertiary color. Obviously, some color palettes they do have the text, and maybe pop might be something new or it might not be new, and muted. But what is important here is how I'm going to use this palette in creating, in developing the actual entire application. And then the last one, it's ADAP. Okay, if you have ever said as soon as possible in your life, This stands for as dumb as possible. I've just realized that most of my components, the reason why they were not reusable, they were too smart. They were having a lot of functionality, a lot of JavaScript, whereas they were supposed to be only views. Views are supposed to be dumb. They are only supposed to act as a projector to present something, not to calculate, not to determine, and not to fetch. This is the building block of a clean code and an enterprise code. I am Matthew Msingati. I am a designer and I am a developer. Thank you so much for clicking this video. Let's end this part here.